put this image just to see how amazing it is to get involved into the community. So this was Google I/O in 2019. I had the pleasure to be there and met all of these amazing people and learned a lot. These are the main apps that I worked on. Can I please have a raise of hands of someone that used any of these apps? 2, 3? Nice, nice. So about 5%? Not too much, but it's Snapfish from HP, Tabcorp, Suncorp, SBS On Demand, and most recently, Listener from Triple M, Today FM, and Hit FM. I put a question down there. Am I an AI expert as well? Not really. I want to learn more and get involved. So I heard that the most important is not for you to know everything, but at least to know someone that knows the tech. So I brought you some experts here. So Mark is a wonderful guy. He's a Googler, and I had recently the opportunity to hear one of his talks here at Google. So I brought here the Discord from Gemini. So this was one of the things that I got from him. It's nice to get involved and learn more into the community. This was the talk he did recently. Another person is Ankur Kotwal. He's amazing as well. A lot of experience, has been in the Google, like, I don't know, for years. I've been into his talk recently here, but I put one as well. I've been into Google I/O in 2015. I met him talking about Sydney at that time. He was involved into the Maps project. I wasn't even living in Australia yet, so I was getting the gist of it. Oh, maybe should I move one day there? So that was really nice. Karthik mentioned already like a lot of things about the community. So if you miss, there's the link again. Get involved. Don't be afraid to speak. I'm doing this I've done quite a few speeches already, and it's always hard, we always get nervous. So there's no better way than start doing. So you're gonna mess sometimes, you're gonna do nice. So the thing is, get involved and just do it. So what to expect on my talk? I will be doing like a very basic artificial intelligence, Google Gemini, AI Studio. I put a little bit of the SDK on Android, but there is a nice thing. There is also for Swift on iOS, Node.js for the JavaScript developers, and much more. So you don't need to be just an Android developer to enjoy this technology. I'll do some demo and some conclusion in the end. So artificial intelligence. I suppose everyone has know what it is. I have another friend that was doing some researches. So the basic idea is technology to create the machines to analyze data, identify partners, and make decisions. So we are kind of all around that. Is probably everyone already knows that. So keep going. So this is another, I found an interesting image more in machine learning. So the basic ideas of like we get from the biological, like how the brain works, and then we transform. Same here in the bottom is kind of a study. We can get the image taught to the computer, and then we get like another conclusions if it is like have some health, probably like in the health industry. The objective is not to get deep on that. Generative AI, a form of artificial intelligence, create new and meaningful content. So everyone already playing with that as well. Who here haven't played yet with Gemini, Bard, ChatGPT, or who haven't touched that yet? Perfect. So probably have more experts than me here. Everyone is playing with it. So who doesn't know yet? Gemini was previously called Bard, so it was a recently changed from Google. What is Gemini? So in short here, I try to not get too deep. Family of multimodal large language model developed by Google DeepMind and Google Research. So that one I learned recently as well why it's called Gemini. So it seems that it was because it was two teams doing the research, and then they have similar stuff. They call Gemini like the horoscope. Why not ask to Gemini, what is Gemini? So I was playing this afternoon and I put it something more like, of course, it's so easy to bring more information and research and understand. It's not always like that hard, just ask it. Another basic stuff, I hope that everyone already know about this. So Gemini, they have like three big models, Ultra, Pro, and Nano. Ultra is now like the top, the best, that is paid. So if you want to use, you have to pay the tokens and all those details. I won't get into that as well. The Pro is the one that is available on gemini.google.com. And Nano is the one available inside of already on the Pixel 8. So if you have the phone Google Pixel 8, you already have the Gemini Nano inside. So when you edit like some photos, and there is some functionalities, I don't know exactly which ones, but it's already working in the phone. Potential applications, this, of course, like probably everyone has this idea as well in terms of AI and generative AI, education, healthcare as the one, machine learning as I showed in the beginning, customer service, creative industry, research and development. So there is a vast potential for us to work on it and bring more solutions using AI. But I tried to make it easy today and just bring some easy ideas. So I just asked it again, tell me some dad jokes. So I have a 3-year-old kid. So sometimes I started thinking, oh, I want some jokes and what should I do? So we can get some silly stuff just to have fun as well. Yeah, that's good. So I think we are short on time. We have a lot to do. So I'll skip that. We can have a look later on. So how to ask good prompts. So this was a little bit extra. I know that sometimes we can go there and play and like just ask, try, but how to get good answers? Be specific with your request. Provide context, use explicit constraints, and experiment with various phrases and approaches. So basically, ask very specific questions and try multiple times. So getting deeper into the Gemini and AI in Studio. AI Studio was created, it's a tool. There is also another tool from Google called Vertex. So it was created, the AI Studio, to play around with all the AI solutions. I won't get deep on that as well, but the idea is you can get to the Gemini website and start asking questions. But let's say if you are putting on your application and you want to test before what's going to happen, how it's going to be, you can use the AI Studio and then play even with the model. You can change the model, change temperature. I haven't played much and haven't explored. But the idea is a tool to help us work on it before getting into our application. And also for the API key. So to add Gemini onto our apps, doesn't matter if it is Android, iOS, or whatever, we need to create an API key. So here is where we create that key. So aistudio.google.com app API key. So we do that before starting the app. Here again, there is a main link, the main tutorial where this talk was based. This is where everything started when there was the end of December last year that Google launched this SDK and API. So as we can see here, we can use Python, Go, Node.js, Web, Dart, Swift, Android on device. I'll do a hint of that later on. And also, if you want to do anything different, you can use REST API as well. So that page, so this QR code lands to this page. So it's the same. I put it there again. So that is the basic quick start of Gemini SDK. So how to add the SDK? As every other SDK, we start by the library, add that on your Gradle file, con.google AI client, generative AI. With the key, we can use the generative model, and then we can start asking, like sending those prompts to the API. We can use it both text to text, or like as they call multi-modal. We can also work with images. So let's say send the image and ask Gemini to summarize what is in that image. So I think that is already bring us a lot of ideas of use of Gemini into the applications. I'm doing interesting app with food recently, and then there was my idea of having inside of the app. So when the user take a photo of food, then we're going to have the description of which food is in that image. So this is the SDK itself. So into that link is where Google did the library. So this redirects to the library. I just put it here. I found it interesting for us to understand and get more deeper on what and how we can use it. So that's it for now. Let's do some demo. The most interesting part. Let's see how it goes. Not like the Windows one, I hope. So I have some good news here. So I'm using Android Studio Jellyfish. So it's in Canary now. You can do in any, like the current version. I just put it on this one because we have a magic trick on this one. So you just come here, new project, and there we go. We have Gemini API started. So we have the basic projects already built for us. Click next. Just put here, just a basic. Minimum SDK. Like for the Android developers, this is kind of very common, but for the other ones, you can also not just do iOS, you can do Android as well. Android Studio has been amazing and so helpful. So just hit next again. Here you put the API key that you generated on the AI Studio I showed before. I just put here some generic just to keep going. And there you go. It generates the project with a simple sample. So to start, just remembering the API key. So after creating the key on AI Studio, you just need to come here and put the proper key. So the idea of this app, very, very simple, is already using Jetpack Compose. So you call that generative model I was mentioning before. Send the API key. We are using the model Gemini Pro. There is also the Gemini Pro Vision, if I'm not mistaken. There will be kind of more tailored for images and working with that. They created a compose here, like to summarize the routes. So we send the view model just quickly here, like we're going to be observing as a state from the view model, and then summarize, send the input text. And here we're going to get the prompt to. So if I change the text here, so this is what's going to be asked for Gemini. It's just as a sample, so we can change and put whatever we want here. Or even I can just remove it and leave it the input text straight away. So whatever I input on the app, it will be what it's going to be displaying the question. So we have summarize UI state, interface. So I won't get deeper here, but you get the gist. I have another one here with my key already set it up. I just change it as I was mentioning before. Where is it? Here. So I remove that text and put it like to be straight away. Let's run this and see how it goes. I should have connected this before, but let's see. So now I'm running the ad. Let's get a little bit bigger here. So this is a simple text edit, and then I change it to what do you want to know, and then we can ask whatever to Gemini. So let's say, let's go to the jokes again. Let's try mommy this time. Well, live demos usually.
See that word before jokes here? So is that mummy jokes or mommy jokes?
Oh yeah, mommy.
And the N, second M has got to be an N.
That's the thing that we get nervous on stage, right? So let's try back. That is easier. So I have, and that should be, yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, I think might be the connection. Let's try one more time. Yeah, nah, didn't help. Sorry? Yeah, we can do, but I'm pretty sure that this might be like network. But as you wish, let's do some debugging. So let's get to oh, this is the older one. So I suppose there might be some error around here. You mean the device? Let's try changing it. Well, might be the simulator. Let's try another one. Maybe try Google Wi-Fi, yeah. There we go. So now we are debugging here. On the view model, we can just keep going, get the response.
Content generation stop, please, and safety. I think you're hitting some safety.
Yeah, that might be some proxy or something. I'll leave that for the next one. But the main idea is, I think we got, I'm happy to explore a little bit more around the code itself of this sample. The idea is, again, very simple. So we have the main activity with Jetpack Compose. We create this generative model is where we configure which model we're going to use. As I mentioned before, we set the API key. I set that to view model. So this is the sample. It's already created by Google. So the idea is to be very simple and easy for us to use it and replicate. And then when we launch the question, like of course it will take some time to process. It's not usually straight away. And then when we get back, if it is an error, like UI state, we just update this mutable state flow, and then we update the UI. So UIs will be, the UI will be listening, so we collect as the state. So this is using coroutine flow. And then just update the UI accordingly. We can get that also for, let's see if I have it open here. A quick one as I missed the other parts. Where is it? Well, I won't get into it, but we can get like for Swift, iOS, and get that as well. So that will be quite similar. Just generate the API key, put it there, and then you're going to get the response. There is also the image part. I didn't add it much into the presentation today. Seems that there is recently some discussions around the image with Google. But the solution for us today actually is the Gemini Nano on Android device. So the benefits is that is local processing of sensitive data. So we don't need the network. So if I have prepared the demo with that, wouldn't have that problem because it doesn't use the internet. So we'll be processing already straight away into the device. It's already working in the Pixel 8 and Samsung, I think, S24, the latest one. So the main idea here, it will be inbuilt into the Android system. So we're going to use the Google AI Edge SDK. And then will be a part of the Gemini Nano inside of the application. So we're going to add the SDK that will do the processing. For that, we need to get an early preview access. So this is the URL to get it. If you want to jump it in, just scan in. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's create some apps with Gemini. Let's change the future. So just one more thing to conclude. AI is evolving so fast that it's hard to keep up. So jumping in and start studying. It's on us to define how the future will be. Let's get involved. Thank you so much.
Okay. All right, thank you, Gabs. We do have some time for Q&A, so if you've got questions, we can come around and hand over the mic to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation. It was very cool.
Thank you.
When I looked at your code where you generated the response, I didn't see any streaming of the response. Does Gemini do streaming of the response or not?
So that will be inside of the Gemini SDK. So they created for us kind of the first part to get into. Then when we do that call will be kind of doing that part. So I suppose will be something like, if we come back to, where was it? So generative model, so that is, I added the link and the screenshot as well. So this is the Google code. So my understanding, this will do the part that you're asking. Like the final calls and streaming. So the SDK will help us to make it very easy to just call, send the prompt, and then we get the response.
But is it possible to receive the response in chunks as well? Or would we always receive the response at once?
I'm not sure about that. I think for that you might need to use the REST API.
Yeah, maybe with the content stream versus the just generate constant.
Where is it?
Maybe Vertex AI, when you use Gemini Pro on Vertex, you can have your own API and get all the streamed information. But if you're using Gemini SDK itself, it handles everything for you.
No, I think he's mentioning just to see what is coming back in raw, I suppose. Is that correct? Or you want to do your model?
When we were generating, I felt that it was generating for a while, and then it just gave an error. Yep. Whereas I would have expected for data to already show up, and then maybe later for it to cut off, if it was streaming the response to us.
You mean like a more detailed explanation of the error? So if it brought something or not?
So it's like a stream of data.
Yeah.
Like how ChatGPT generates. It goes
Yeah.
like IMA.
Because it generates per token and not as one chunk. But I know that BART, when I used it back in the day,
so there is
it just gave the response as one chunk.
Yeah, there is more about that. So because this SDK is quite new, so this was launched in December, they are not charging for the tokens yet. I don't know how it's gonna be, how it's gonna work later. But if you wanna go deeper, you can use Vertex. So Vertex is kind of the next level. And for that, you already start paying, like you use the Ultra, like the top model, but then you start paying already. So that is, you can even train that model to work with specific stuff that you need.
Cool, clear, thank you.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. It was great.
Welcome.
Regarding that previous question, I think there is a way to do it. Like even on the documentation website, I think it's just that stream generate content. Yeah, that might be this. But so, yeah, it's in the like 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth section from the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be it. But my question is around the on-device model. If you have used it, or like, do you know what's the performance comparing to the not on-device one?
Unfortunately, I don't have that answer. I haven't tried yet. I haven't applied here for the early preview for the on-device, and I think we need to have the Pixel 8 or the Samsung S24. So it's still a little bit complicated to test it out. So yeah, I don't have that answer.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, it was a great presentation.
Thank you.
So I had a doubt, like as she also mentioned about the performance of Gemini Nano. So is there any way that we can include any other model? Like Google recently, like few days back, it released Gemma. So is there any way to include that? Because I have heard like Gemini lacks in properly giving out the output, and we need to do chain of thought, like ask again and again so that we would arrive to a proper answer. So is there any way that we can basically use open source models with some Flutter SDK so that it would be like processing it fast rather than running on cloud, but for just on-device purpose.
Yeah, I got your worry about that. I know that we can do that with Vertex, as I mentioned before, but I'm not sure with Gemini. I think Gemini, the idea is to be simpler and more like kind of easy to use. But if you go to the other one, you can kind of customize and adjust, use your models like however you want. But again, I think those questions will be more tailored for the experts. So I'm still learning as well. You maybe join the Discord. I put it up on the beginning. I'm pretty sure that they'll have more details over there. Any other question?
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
So regarding that question, I'd like to answer. So if you want to use any of your own model or something on Flutter, we still have TensorFlow Lite, and that will help you to upload any model of your choice. And the performance is also like good. But as you can see, we have Nano coming out soon, and that would be supported for like all the devices, maybe very soon. But yeah, if you want to give a shot for like your own model, you can definitely try TensorFlow Lite. Thank you.
Thank you.